Hi guys, it's Mandy from Mandyleeplays, and in my last video I did all the worst JRPGs I've played this year, but in this video I'm going to share with you guys all the best JRPGs I've played this year. And I will admit I was playing it kind of safe with the games that I did buy, but I did take some risk and it did pay off. And feel free to leave me your favorite JRPGs of 2025 in the comments down below. I would love to read them. And of course, hit that like button if you end up liking, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and hype if you want to. So enough of me yampering, let's get into the list. The first game I have is Story of Seasons: The Grand Bazaar. So this game came out for the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, and I think the PC. Hold on, I have to check. And do you guys see this case? Why yes, it's indeed a Switch 2 game without a key card. I love to see it. And shout out to Marvelous for pulling off this amazing feat. Anyways, I'm not gonna ramble about key cards, don't worry. So moving on, this game is so good. And it has to be my favorite Story of Seasons entry in the whole series. I mean, I haven't really played that much, but from what I played, this one is the best. This is my comfort game, especially in times where real life could just be really rough. I know I don't talk about this a lot, but I do love cozy games, just not all of them. So when I picked this game up, I was anticipating the usual Story of Seasons fanfare, which there is, but there was something different about this game. And what is that? Well, it says it on the case. Grand Bazaar. And little did I know that was going to be the gimmick that really locks me in, because instead of going to a shopping bin where you usually put all your crops, you have to wait till Saturday in-game to sell all your products. So the start of every week is basically getting all the crops, items, and various other things ready for Saturday so you can sell them at the Grand Bazaar. And this simple change is actually pretty genius, because in most farming sims, the days really blur together where you don't even know what day it is. But in the Grand Bazaar, you're aware of what day it is, so it makes every day feel like you have to be doing something. And when it's Grand Bazaar time, it is very fun. So you essentially have to ring the bell and try to get customers to your stall and get as much money as you could get from selling your products. And that's basically it, although there are things that can help you, like different decorations or tables, and towards the end of the game you get 3 tables instead of the 1 table that you started off in the beginning of the game. And then once it's done, you spend the rest of the week prepping for another one. And also, I do love the art style of this game. It is really pretty and soft, and the performance is really good. I mean, it's a farming sim. It's really hard to mess that up. Next on this list is Atelier Reslariana, and I'm just gonna say here now, this year was the year of Atelier games, so get ready to hear this name again. Reslariana was such a surprise, and I knew I was gonna love it, but I didn't know I was gonna end up loving it as much as I do. So much so that Res is actually in my top 3 Atelier games. Now I do want to say, I did get a review code for this game, that's why the game is in plastic, so thank you Koei Tecmo for providing me this review code. And of course I still had to nab the physical. So if you guys don't know, this game is kind of a celebration for the 25th anniversary of Atelier games. Now for the elephant in the room, Atelier Reslariana was actually a mobile game, but this game is not the mobile game. It just has the mobile game's title, which is Atelier Reslariana. It's basically they share the same universe as the mobile games, but this game has a totally different story from the mobile games. And also, playing into the whole this is a celebration of Atelier games, the whole premise of the game takes a more traditional Atelier gameplay style. So it plays a lot like the older Atelier games, not the open world ones we see with Ryza or Yumiya. Even though those are very special to me, it was nice to go back to a traditional format for Atelier games. Now I won't go into the story. If you want to know more, I did it before you buy, but basically we follow our 2 protagonists, Rise and Slade, which on its own is kind of like wow, because you usually only play girls in these games, so getting the choice to pick a dude was really nice. The last time they gave you that choice was with Eska and Logi, and that game is pretty old. Nice to see that back, but that being said, I don't think it really changes the story as much if you're playing as Rise or Slade. I feel like they gave you that option just to give you that option, which is cool. The story was contained. It wasn't really about this world-ending thing, although the stakes do get high. They're not too high, and it made me really just enjoy the characters, especially between Rise and Slade. There's a little romance going on there, and I was just like, romance in my Atelier game? Heck yes, I want more of that. And between figuring out the mystery and alchemy, they're also in charge of managing the Mistletoe Miscellaneous shop. So yeah, there is is also a town building mechanic. Do you see why I love this game so much? And as you progress, you really get to see the town of Helfen transform from this gray wasted place to a hustle and bustle kind of town. But that's not the only mechanic, of course. There's also the alchemy mechanic. So it is very simple in this game. It really does a good job blending the traditional Atelier feel and the modern Atelier feel when it comes to the alchemy. Last thing I want to add is this game, being a celebration of Atelier games, does have a unique mechanic where you could call upon different characters from all over the Atelier universe in the form of NPCs. Some are actually playable characters. So yeah, I love this game so much, and I hope this one gets a sequel. Like, I really do hope. So next we have another time sink of a game that I absolutely love, and that is Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. Marvelous does it again. Now, I did get a review copy for this game, so thank you, Marvelous and the team. But of course, I had to get a physical copy because I love this game so much. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma is technically a spin-off of the Rune Factory series game, but don't let that deceive you because this game is still really good. I love the Rune Factory series, especially Rune Factory 4. That's one of my favorite games. Although Rune Factory 5, I really didn't like. Hopefully they're cooking something good with Rune Factory 6, but in the meantime, we got Guardians of Azuma. So yeah, I got burnt by Rune Factory 5, so I approached this game with caution at first. But that low expectation shattered as I progressed through the game. While it does change the formula, it does do it by leaning into the one thing I love the most, the town building mechanic. Yes, indeed, another town building mechanic. Do you guys see a trend here? If you guys don't know, Rune Factory games are farming sim games splashed in with a JRPG adventure. So unlike the traditional Rune Factory games, where it really leans into mostly the farming, Guardians of Azuma leans into the farming, plus the structures of different buildings, plus getting different town folks to do different jobs. It's more of a management thing, while still having a JRPG adventure in the background. The protagonist, which you could pick male or female, is an earth dancer who is responsible for revitalizing the world after it has been corrupted by the blights. And guys, I've spent hours on trivial stuff, like deciding where to put these buildings or storefronts, which character lives in what place, and the overall aesthetic of the town. Also hiring different villagers or even letting them go if they're really doing a bad job. Which arguably I did feel bad letting them go, and even though they're in-game NPCs, I still feel bad. I don't know why. And there's also a cool little bonus for Switch 2 players, which is basically you can use the mouse controls to place buildings and decorate your town. Which I didn't do because these mouse controls are not working for me. I don't understand why people like it or use it. I'm over here on my floor because I can't do it on my bed. So I'm on my floor rolling my Joy-Cons, and it just feels so unnatural. Anyways, this is not a video about mouse controls. All of this to say, the gameplay is really what kept me going. Although I did have some cons with this game. Number one being the story was kind of weird at some points, and there are things that really didn't make sense. And number two, there isn't a lot of post-game content. So basically you finish the story, you kind of just finish the whole game. So that's why it's not as high a story of seasons, but it's still a really good game that I really enjoyed playing this year. And overall, I can't wait for whatever Rune Factory 6 is gonna be. I'm already hyped for that. Now the next game is going to be a bit of a doozy, but I want to give this game some justice. And what game is that? Well, it's Atelier Yumiya. Another Atelier game. I told you guys, I warned you guys. I love this game so much that I actually got the platinum trophy for it. I'm sorry, you guys might be wondering when does Switch get achievements, but no, I played this game on my PlayStation 5 because I did get a code for it by Koei Tecmo, so thank you, Koei Tecmo. So anyways, while Atelier Reslariana was a traditional return to roots for the series, Atelier Yumiya was the exact opposite. And I really love them both for what they bring to the table. Atelier Yumiya is the first game in its own series. I don't know if it's going to be its own trilogy or different protagonists. We don't know yet, but this is the first game in that series of games. This game really takes the open world aspects that they did a bit in Atelier Ryza 3, but Yumiya completely commits to it. It is a full open world Atelier game, and going from place to place without loading screens is just phenomenal. I'm glad that this game could pull that off, though I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a bit fatigued when it comes to open world games, but with Yumiya I made an exception. And plus, the addition of the motorcycle was a really good decision. fun. Now for the gameplay, we have a hybrid ATB system. It's very similar to Ryza's gameplay, where you essentially wait to fill up the gauge and then do an attack. You can also dodge, position yourself, or take control of other characters on the fly. It's very seamless and I honestly loved it, although there was a bit of a problem because I kind of over leveled a bit too early. I was level 99 in like the 4th world, and there's like 6 of them. Not because I grind for it, but they just give you a lot of XP points. And of course your friends can help you too with the friend action system. Now for the alchemy, it's unique. I really liked it. I felt like it was very fun and simple while not dumbing it down. The other thing that surprised me about this game was the story. It was actually pretty dark and intense, and I hope they keep that up with future Atelier games. But that's not all, folks. Guess what this game has? A town building mechanic. Well, not exactly a town, but it does have a building mechanic aspect in this game. So you guys know the trend by now. I really vibed with it. It's not perfect. There was a lot of things that needed tweaking, but it was very fun. So overall, Atelier Yumiya was such a nice surprise. I loved it, and I knew I was gonna love it. Although, with Atelier Reslariana and Atelier Yumiya, I kind of like Reslariana a bit more, mainly because I was itching for a more traditional Atelier game. While Atelier Yumiya was such a good game, but the open worldness did get me overwhelmed at some points. But both of these games are fantastic. Highly recommend them. So next game is actually the game that won Game of the Year for 2025. That is for Expedition 33. This game deserved all its flowers that it got in the Game Awards, and they really swept it. I think they hit the record with how many awards a game could get, so that's pretty cool. Well deserved. But why is it on my list? Because I personally really loved it. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is such an amazing game, and it's one of those rare RPGs that really elevates the genre. I know there's a lot of discourse about Expedition 33 being the best and the other JRPGs are just not good enough. I think that's false. I think that two things could be right at the same time. You could think Expedition 33 is important and it's phenomenal while still saying that other JRPGs are important and phenomenal. I mean, that's not such a hard task. Anyways though, there are people who really haven't played a lot of JRPGs, so if you liked Expedition 33, then please give the other ones a shot. It doesn't have realistic graphics, but that's not what makes a game. Anyways, back to the point. Expedition 33 was developed by Sandfall Interactive, a French indie studio whose first debut game was actually Expedition 33. But don't get it twisted, these devs are not new to making a game. Some of them actually worked for Ubisoft. That's kind of really funny, but also heartwarming. I bet Ubisoft is seething. Expedition 33 really captures the soul of the golden age of JRPGs so accurately that it feels like this game is a JRPG or Final Fantasy game. And even though this game wears its JRPG influences on its sleeve, it does do a lot of things different to make it a unique experience. And plus, like, a lot of people are saying, yes, it has realistic graphics. I don't think that's a metric for how good a game is, but some people are different. I don't know. But now let's get into what I really loved about this game. This story was phenomenal. Like, it was really good. I will admit that the third act kind of felt weird pacing wise, but other than that, the story was just like bam, 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 bam. And the voice acting and facial animations were simply phenomenal. That stuff was really good. I'm not gonna sit here and say everything because it's been said to death at this point, but as a lot of people point out, yes, it is a turn-based RPG, but it's a bit different than a traditional turn-based. Every enemy attack is kind of like a rhythm game if you really think about it. You must dodge, jump, or parry in real time, and each enemy has a certain quirks, which made the game kind of frustrating at times, especially when an enemy was about to attack and they were taking forever long to attack, and I would get so nervous and oops, I pressed the button a bit too early and I died. That happened a lot and it was pretty frustrating, but so addicting. This gameplay mechanic not only complements huge RPG fans, but it's also good for non-RPG fans who really don't like turn-based because it might be a bit boring. And between the gameplay and fantastic story, this game has to be one of the top of the tops. But I firmly believe that the greatness of this game should not automatically give people the reasons to dunk on other JRPGs. So if you love Expedition 33, please do try out other RPGs if you really want to do that game justice. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Hi guys, it is Editing Mandy. Sorry to interrupt, but I just want to add that these two games I might be going a little fast on, but that's because I'm saving those for my monthly wrap up, so I don't really want to go through the games twice. So yeah.
Now the next game is actually my first time playing a game in this series, and I'm very happy about that because I've been wanting to get into the series for the longest time. The game is Trails in the Sky First Chapter. So yeah, I was telling you guys I had such a hard time getting into the series, and that's true. I did try Tales from Zero way back when, but a lot of people were saying that it's best if you play the first few games, so I waited out a bit, and then I decided to play Cold Steel. But then as I was playing that, we got the announcement that they're working on a remake for Trails in the Sky First Chapter, which is the first game in the Trail series. And I'm glad I did wait because this game was truly something special. Seeing the kingdom of Liberal in fully realized 3D with expressive character models and dynamic camera finally allowed me to immerse myself in the world. This game follows Estelle Bright, one of my favorite protagonists so far, and her adoptive brother, and that's pretty important, adopted brother Joshua. He's basically a foil of Estelle. And they together go on an adventure to become bracers. And I would like to say this game is a very good, cozy JRPG. It is a very slow burn type of game, but not in a bad way. To me, I was entertained through the whole game. When I was locked in, I was locked in. And I also really enjoyed the gameplay. The hybrid system was very, very cool. Oh, and you also could toggle on a high speed mode, which makes the game a whole lot faster. Like, holy cow, it feels weird playing the game without high speed mode. I know some people don't like it or don't recommend it for newcomers, but I had that thing on the whole time. I didn't really go into the nitty gritty of this game because it's not the video for that, but just know I love this game so much, and I recently beat it. Like, it's fresh in my mind. And I'm so happy that I finally finished my first Trails game, and I'm really excited for the second game. Now, before we get to the last game, I do want to mention my runner-ups that didn't make it on this list, but I still really enjoyed. First one is Yakuza Like a Dragon. Second one, Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time, and third, Xenoblade Chronicle X DE. Alrighty, now with that out of the way, let's get on to my final pick, and that is for Digimon Time Stranger. This game, holy cow, this game took me by surprise. Digimon was that one game that I took a big risk on because I bought it just because it looked interesting, but I wasn't expecting to love this game as much as I do now, and I'm so happy I picked it up. Now, for some context, I've never really tried anything Digimon related, not the anime, not the little toys, or any of the games. So Digimon Time Stranger was my first Digimon experience. And oh my god, did it blow my mind. I thought it was just gonna be a copycat of Pokemon, but no, that's not the case. The story is pretty wild. Like, the story takes a lot of twists and turns. And while yes, some parts were generic as heck, a lot of the other stuff was like, okay, this is a bit crazy. And I also enjoyed the different Digimon. Like, I didn't know what I was gonna get. And it was pretty wild to digivolve a Digimon and be like, how the heck did this turn into that? But you soon realize that Digimon are not like Pokemon. They don't have an evolutionary tree. They just evolve into different Digimon, and you could pick which ones you want. And the gameplay is a lot like other traditional monster taming games. It has a turn-based mechanic, and you just make your Digimon do several attacks. And then you could increase the Digimon stats by digivolving or de-digivolving. So while the gameplay is not hard, there's a bunch of terminology that you might want to know if you want to go deep into it. But on its surface, it's a very easy to know kind of gameplay. And I love how there are type matchups, but that's not the most important thing. It mostly comes down to the advantages of data, viruses, and vaccines. So overall, this game was just amazing, and I'm so glad that I played it and took that risk. Now, I don't know if I'll be doing that for other games because I kind of want to feel safe with what I'm purchasing, but in this case, I'm happy I took the risk. I'm here just wondering, when is the next Digimon game? I know they're rolling out DLC for Time Stranger, but I just wanted Time Stranger 2. Anyways, that is it for today's video. Please let me know your favorite games of the year down below in the comments. I would love to read them. Please hit that like button if you liked it, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and hype if you found this video hypeable. So without further ado, I hope you guys have a fantastic day and a fantastic rest of your holidays. And as always, play a good game. Peace, peace.